Hello, welcome back. My guest today is making his first appearance on the show, and he'll be fighting this Saturday, March 3rd at UFC 222. He is UFC bantamweight Andre Soukhamthath. Andre, what's going on, brother? Good morning, sir.
What's up, man? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon for you. Still,
For me,
yeah, for me it's morning. So, how you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm good.
I saw you were at the beach yesterday, soaking up the sun with the family. On I think it's called Anatomy of a Fighter. How
Yeah,
important?
great channel.
Yeah, I love that. Who is that? Who's behind that?
Will Harris, he's a friend of mine. Um, he he just started this project a couple months ago, and he's worked with some big fighters like Vulcan, and he got Khabib and Kamaru, Michael Johnson, and now he's filming my fight week. So I'm really excited to be working with him. It's not the first time we've worked together, but it's the first time he's really individually filming my fight week. So he's gonna be going out to Vegas with me, and you guys will get a little inside scoop on the Sensations fight week.
I love it, man. I love it. So as I said, I saw you were soaking up the sun with your family out there. How important is it for you to get that little bit of family time before the start of a fight week and before you kind of dial in into full fighter mode?
Oh, it's so important because when I'm not at the gym, when I'm not under the lights, I'm daddy, and I don't really get to spend much time with my family in fight camp. So I need to make sure that before I actually leave them to go off to battle, that I get some time with them. And it's always nice to go to the beach. We always do something fun before I leave, and of course after the victory, we do something even better, maybe a vacation or something. They deserve it. I put them through a lot, but they this, that's who I fight for.
Uh, Family's obviously big for you. So how's it been juggling the family life with the fighting career?
Oh man, I've been doing it since I started. 11 years strong now. I've been in this game with my wife. She's been my manager for 10 years. I recently just changed managers, but she still does a lot of behind the scenes stuff. She she um she's a big reason of why I'm in the UFC too. It's a family business. Now that we have two boys, it's not just about us. It's about our two boys and our careers. So we just try to have goals, our separate goals, and we have goals together, and we have goals as a family. And it definitely keeps me in the straight line, so that I'm not out there messing around doing crazy stuff. I'm just focused on taking care of my family and being the best fighter I can be.
Absolutely. What kind of things does she do for you to help you get through the fight camp?
Before I was even a big name. I'm not saying I'm a big name now, but before I was even where I am right now, she used to prepare my meals for the whole week. She would negotiate my purse, negotiate. She'll get me opponents, and she'll talk to the promoters. She'll sell tickets. I'll probably make about 2 or 3 grand off of ticket sales just because of her work. Because I drew a big crowd locally, and that was before the UFC. Now we're in the UFC, so I have another agent that negotiates for me, and talks about my fights and matchups, and she just handles all my medicals. She handles all my coaches' travel, my travel, and she does my PR when people want to partner up and do some business with me or do some work with me. She handles all that so that I don't have to talk to anyone. I could just focus on training and just doing my interviews and showing up.
Wow, man, that's awesome. She's a huge help.
Huge, huge, yeah, for
Oh
sure.
man, beautiful. I love that. So for those who don't know, how did you get in or how did you get started in MMA?
Man, it's a deep story, man. But I'm always willing to share it. I actually my wife right now, she was pregnant, and I was a soccer player in college, in high school, and I had a whole bunch of college recruits, looking at me, and I had my mindset. I wanted to play ball in college. That's what I wanted to do. And then, my she was my girlfriend at the time, and she got pregnant, and then I just decided to not go to school at that time and decided to just work full time and be a man and try to support my family. And then there was an MMA gym down the street, and my friend was like, "Hey, you want to try it?" And then that's how I got into MMA. Right? And then I knew I wanted to be in the UFC since the first day I stepped a foot on the mats. Because I've always been athletic, and it kind of gave me something else to do because I couldn't play soccer. But actually, my son that was born at that time, I was 18. He actually passed away 9 months later because he had a rare skin disease called epidermolysis bullosa. So we've been through a lot, man. But now we have two healthy boys. One's 2, one's 5, and just learning every day as we go.
Do you feel like going through that entire process has just made you guys, or that bond between you two, that much stronger?
To be honest, man, it's when we were going through that time about 10 years ago. We really didn't know what we were doing, man. We were so
Mm.
young. We were so lost. There was a time for like 3 or 4 years where we just didn't know what to do. We were just living day by day, and that's what saved me. That's what MMA has done for me. It saved me. I whenever I'd be at home, I'd be so miserable. But when I got to the gym, I just let everything out, and I forgot about everything. And I just focused on being a better fighter, better martial artist. So that's what MMA has done for me. And it's just a slow struggle to get back on our feet. But I could say that we're doing all right for ourselves now since we moved to Florida. She's got a great career of her own, and my career obviously is taking off. So definitely made me stronger as a person, and makes me really believe that I was put on in this world for a reason, and so was my son. My son that passed, he was put in this world for a reason to teach me many lessons, us many lessons. And I'm just trying to teach others.
Wow, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. I love that. Well, you started your UFC career out with a couple of really close split decision losses, but then you rebounded strong in Fresno with the big win over Luke Sanders. Take me back to that moment if you can. It looked like you were elated to get that victory. How did it feel?
Man, it was such a relief. That's all I can say. I knew what was on the line. I lost two pretty close, controversial split decisions. My first two UFC fights, and I knew that. I took this fight on late notice. I took a chance in about 2 weeks' notice against a tough Luke Sanders, and I knew if I lost, I'd be cut from the UFC. So, I didn't want to be like that. I don't want to be one of those guys that got signed to the UFC and then didn't make it. I wanted to stay in the UFC and make my run and make my money in the UFC. It's the biggest promotion in the world. So that win, after I knocked Luke out, man, it was just so relieving because all the hard work I put in, I saw this moment and I waited so long for this moment, and I always came this close, but it just never happened. And then when it finally happened, all those emotions just showed up because with wins in the UFC, there comes a lot of opportunities. Opportunities to gain a bigger fan base, opportunities to get endorsements, opportunities to I signed a new 5-fight contract after that fight, so that's an opportunity for myself. So a lot of big things happen when you win, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, here you are, like we said, in a big spot in the main card at UFC 222. Does it feel like it's been a big jump from where you were in December compared to now?
No, no. I feel like I really belong on the main card slot. I feel like I belong on pay-per-views. You know, I feel like I bring a certain type of swagger to the MMA game. To the octagon, and I feel like my style. That's what people pay to see. I'm not. I throw heat, and I'm not afraid to exchange with anyone. I'm not afraid to fight anyone. Whether it's a wrestler or a kickboxer, I don't care. I'm there to fight. And I feel like even though I am 1-2 in the UFC, if you watch all my fights, they're all very entertaining, and I can easily be 3-0. So I definitely feel like I belong here.
Your opponent, Sean O'Malley, he's an outspoken gentleman that seems to be getting a pretty big push from the UFC. Do you enjoy being in the spot to maybe perhaps derail the hype train that's around him?
Absolutely. That's not my main goal to derail the hype train, but it's definitely gonna happen because after I beat him, it's just gonna be natural that I'm gonna blow up after this fight. I'm popular. I have a lot of followers. I have a lot of loyal followers because I'm the first, Laotian American, first person of my kind to sign with the UFC. That's number one. Number two, I have a lot of loyal fans that have been watching me since my amateur days and just growing organically. He has fake fans. You know what I'm saying? His fans aren't really MMA fans. I built my fans over my career. People are fans of mine because they like my personality, they watch my interviews, they like the way I fight, and they become fans. People are fans of his because they follow him on Instagram because he gets shouted out by Snoop Dogg, because he smokes weed, because he makes weed gummies, things like that. Those aren't real fans. When it comes to real fans, I got a lot more fans than he does. But after I beat him, I'll tell you what, there's gonna be a hype train behind me, and that's just a fact.
So you believe you'll steal a bit of that thunder that's behind him with this win?
I'm gonna steal all of it.
I love it. So I know before the fight was actually scheduled, you had said on the podcast that you wanted, or that you would be interested in fighting Sean. What was it about him that kind of piqued your interest?
I thought that he was a fun fighter, I was a fun fighter, and I just said that it'd make a good matchup. And I wouldn't mind stealing his hype. And Dana White obviously loves him. The UFC obviously loves him. But I feel like he hasn't really put in the work, and he hasn't really paid his dues in this MMA game like I have. And I'm gonna show him that I'm the real OG. It's not Snoop Dogg. It's not him. I'm the real OG, and he's gonna find out this Saturday.
Awesome, man. How have you been seeing the fight going?
I see us just meeting in the middle and working our techniques. He's got his techniques, I got mine, and I'm gonna catch him, and he's not gonna like it, and then we'll see what happens after that.
Beautiful. Well, as you said, you just signed that big 5 fight contract with the UFC, so obviously they believe in your talent a lot. I mean, O'Malley's only 1-0 in the UFC, but with a big win over a notable name, where do you think that puts you in the division?
I really don't know, because like I said, like we said, he's all hype. He hasn't really fought anybody in the UFC yet. He only has one fight, and the guy he beat wasn't ranked or anything. So um, I don't know where that puts me in the division, but I know that this fight is more of like a fight. Like whoever wins this fight is the next rising star in the bantamweight division. That's how I see it. The next prospect, the next rising star. Not title challenger, because I'm very realistic. I think that I can fight for the title? Yes, of course, I'll fight anyone. But do I think that I deserve it? No, I don't deserve it right now. So I just think that the winner of this fight is going to be the rising star of the bantamweight division, the prospect to look out for, and the guy that they're going to really try to push.
How excited are you to have that spotlight on you, being in that spot right before the co-main and main event?
Like I said, man, I feel like I belong there, and I would have took that fight my first fight. I would, and I would have been fine. I do better when there's a lot of people cheering, a lot of people booing, a lot of people going crazy. I do better under the lights when there's more viewers. Because I'm an entertainer, and I like to entertain.
I love it. I love it. We're looking forward to it, brother. Well, I know
Thank
you've had a few in the UFC now, so what are you looking forward to most about the upcoming fight week?
I love Fight Week, man, because it's a chance for me to bring the Asian sensation out. I get to wear my shades, I get to dress up real nice, and I really get to go out and be a star. Um, Obviously, I'm at home, I have a regular job, I, you know, I take care of my kids, but my career, I'm a fighter, and I'm not only a fighter. I want to prove that I can do a lot more other things too. It's not just about fighting for me. I could bring a lot more to the table. So during fight week, I go out there, relax a little bit, clear my head, get ready for the fight, and show that swagger.
Awesome, man. So you still have a regular 9 to 5?
No, not 95.
Oh,
I just
okay.
I just pick up some. I don't now after that last win, but I teach a couple classes just because I like to.
Got you. Yeah, yeah. Of
It's
course.
my choice. I like money rolling in, just extra cash that pays for my my kid's daycare or something. You know, just extra cash. I've always worked my whole life, and you know, I'm not gonna stop.
And it's stuff within the gym, it sounds like, so related to the sport.
For sure, yeah.
Awesome, man. Well, before I let you go, brother, and by the way, I appreciate you giving us the time today. I know you probably got to get packing and getting ready to go, so I appreciate
No
the
problem.
time. What have you been jamming to on the way to the gym or while you're getting your workout in?
Man, you know, I always getting closer to the fight. I like to jam out to all kinds of things, but you know, I listen to like everything, man. When you could be like Christian music to like J. Cole to like Red Hot Chili Peppers to to everything, you know. As long as it has like a meaning behind it, then I'm down to jam to it, you know.
Of course, man. Of course. All right, brother. Well, again, I appreciate your time. Everybody, be sure to tune in UFC 222 this Saturday, March 3rd. It's going to be our man, the Asian sensation, Andre Soukhamthath. He's taking on SeanO'Malley. You don't want to miss this one.
Thank you, bro.